G'day everyone, thank you for tuning in. Today we are doing a little tutorial walkthrough guide to show you how you can install Linux on a USB stick, make that USB stick bootable, and the reasons between why you would go from Windows or Chrome OS over to Linux. So I've got a Toshiba Chromebook CB35 which I bought a year or so ago, and it's been running well for that time. I tried several different distributions over the period of time I've had it, and overall Gallium OS has been the best one so far. But I've been hearing good things from several YouTubers on the latest version of Mint 17.3 point something. So I thought I'd give it a go. Firefox has slowed down on the laptop. This could be because of just like version 57 just doesn't work well on the laptop, or it just Linux needs a good reinstall and moving from the spot file from the micro SD card back onto the primary SSD. But nevertheless, I thought it'd be a good thing to do over the weekend. I'm using a Kingston USB stick, 32 gig USB 3. The tool I'll be using, which is free to format and make the stick bootable, will be Rufus. The reasons that you might want to look and evaluate the swap over would be, price. It's free for Linux, like legit free. No keygens, no activation issues. It works great. Often Linux actually has things that Windows has taken out that we used to like. Low footprint for RAM, so it works well on systems with 2 and 4 gig of RAM. No risk of getting spyware that is targeted for Windows, or viruses or keygen crap. All that stuff can be avoided. It doesn't take much space on the SSDs, and often Chromebooks and low-end Windows laptops will have a smaller SSD. Smaller install size compared to Windows, which is good. You can be sure the update part of the OS isn't going to change your GUI, isn't going to remove like the start menu, isn't going to remove desktop icon functionality. And most of the time I've never had an issue with the OS update with Linux, yet I constantly hear about problems with the update system on Windows that break stuff, and you have to wait for Microsoft to unbotch it. And plus, it's made by people in the world that are just the average Joe, not made by an American multi-million-dollar corporation with questionable ethics, morals, and values that do not have the consumer as a focus. They just have the one focus, and that is to make money and fuck everyone else. So once you've got your USB stick, your downloaded ISO of Linux that does work on the laptop, I'd probably recommend for all Chromebooks, just try with Gallium OS. Because it seems to have insane compatibility, it seems to work on everything. A general Windows laptop, probably Mint or Ubuntu. And the GUI choices, I personally like a Mate and XFCE. I'm not fussed with the new tablet touchscreen designed GUIs that you have these days on some of the OSs. Alright, so as you can see on the bottom left here, we have the Chromebook, what it looks like. Pretty good. It is a N processor. It can decode 4K video in the CPU. It's got 2 gig of RAM, 16 gig SSD. I think it might be an IPS screen, I'm not 100% sure on that, but the quality is really good. It's an 11-inch screen. The battery lasts 11 hours. Yes, 11 hours. This is not bullshit. It is literally 11 hours. And it recharges about an hour 10 minutes to 1 hour and 15, which is insane. Like this is the best battery on any laptop I've ever seen. It's got USB 2, USB 3, headphones, and Wi-Fi AC. The speakers are okay-ish, but it wouldn't win any awards. I do use this laptop in the lounge room as a media center. We have it connected up to a 5.1 amp or a Bluetooth speaker. We do connect it to a TV through HDMI, so it's got HDMI. It doesn't have VGA or DisplayPort, but HDMI does the job. One thing I would do on this laptop, if I could rebuy the same battery and same pretty much laptop again, would be 4 gig of RAM instead of 2 gig of RAM, an Ethernet port, and 32 gig SSD instead of 16. But for the main part of the laptop, it's a great daily driver. Like, you can use LibreOffice, you can use Firefox or Chrome, you can use like Media Player Classic, or, well, not Media Player Classic on Linux, but you could use like VLC or SM Player, you could use Wire, Telegram, OBS, TeamViewer, like QMMP, which is like Winamp. You could use Discord, you could use Steam, you could use IRC and Mumble. It's got all the programs functionality with Linux that you could do day-to-day stuff. I wouldn't recommend doing 4K video encoding on it, considering it's such a low-end CPU, but just doing daily stuff, like if you're at a school or university, or just like typing stuff up in the office, it would be fine. I've actually used this in Japan to encode 1080p footage. It lags it completely out, but it was possible with OpenShot. So that got me uploading videos from a Sony 4K camera, re-encoded at 1080p, added some stuff, and then uploaded to YouTube. So let's go on to actually making the stick. Right, so you can see my main gaming computer at the moment. It is currently running Windows 7, not Linux at the moment. Hopefully in kernel 4.15 next year, I will swap back. But at the moment, Windows 7 does the job. Alright, so we're on the website with a free tool called Rufus. And this is a tool that will format the USB stick, will make it bootable for you, and this could be used for Windows bootable sticks or Linux bootable sticks. So, alright, let's go down and download it. Now, on Windows platform, you've got the setup version and the portable version. So let's get the portable version. Let's save that there. Very small, it is 945. Alright, so we'll have to move this stuff. Just make a folder for it today, and we'll dump that in. Bam. Alrighty. So let's just run the main setup one. No, let's not. And that's it. Alrighty. So as you can see I've got several different ISOs and miscellaneous files. So the one we want is Mint, and you've got 18.3, and the GUI is Mate, and it's 64-bit. Alright, so I'll throw this, copy that, Control C, back to the program, and then so it's detected the USB stick, Kingston 32 gig. We want a GPT partition for UEFI. exFAT is fine. Kingston is fine for the device. And format. Yes. Okay, so if we look at the stick now, there's nothing on it but auto run for some reason. Let's just get rid of those. Alright, so we formatted it. But what we might also show everyone is another option, which is UNet Boot-in. I think that's how you say it. Okay, so it's available on Mac, Linux, and Windows. So, because I'm on Windows at the moment, so let's get that. We will just save that there, that's fine. And then we'll throw that into our new folder. Alright, so this one, different GUI. Okay, select distribution. So you can select it or you can throw it a file. So I'll throw it, where is our folder again? Open. Mint mate. Alrighty. So it says drive L. So let's just check. Drive L, Kingston 32 gig. As you can see, I've got a Intel SSD 120 gig for the OS, which also has a second partition for programs and documents. I've got a second SSD 500 gig for games, a 4 terabyte drive, a 4 terabyte drive there, the Blu-ray burner, which I have. That's right, Blu-ray burn, not Blu-ray read. And I have the Kingston stick. So that is L drive confirmed, it's a USB stick, and away we go. So it's found it, it's copying the files onto the USB stick. It will then copy the appropriate boot files and it'll be all good. This will take a little while to extract the files from the .iso file and dump them onto your stick. Being USB 3, it will go faster, but it is in a USB hub, which is USB 2 at the moment. So that's slightly slower, but still good nevertheless. Just while that's copying on, if you want to know what I've got installed, we've got Ballas, I think that's how you say it, which is a fork from Firefox. I've got Mumble, which is a gaming voice over IP. I've also got Discord. Both Mumble and Discord are the portable versions. Portable is a version of installing on Windows. We've got HexChat, which is like a free version of MIRC. QBitTorrent, which is a free version of uTorrent. Media Player Classic Black Edition, which is a fork of Media Player Classic Home Cinema. We've got Wire, programmed to replace Skype and SMSing. We've got LibreOffice, we've got OBS, File Search Classic, which brings back the proper file searching like Windows 98. You've got QMMP, which is like the old Winamp. And then I've got a few games. Company Heroes, RTS, Insurgency Shooter, Road Redemption, which is a Road Rash rehash, Day of Infamy, World War II Shooter, War of Warships, which is a boat game, and then the Epic launcher, and yeah, shortcut to Linux stuff. Alrighty, so that is done. After rebooting, check USB option in the BIOS and boot. Now on the Chromebook, I've actually installed CBIOS, which gives me functionality back to the device I paid for, so I can actually install Linux operating systems. Because by default, the Google Chrome OS laptop will lock you out of installing anything but Google OS. And for some reason it shut itself. Good work, Windows. Alrighty, well, yeah, all I have to do now is go to the laptop, put that in, and boot away. But that's pretty much the way to make a bootable USB stick. And yeah, we'll see how it goes on the laptop, and I'll report back. Alrighty, well, thank you for tuning in today, and have a fantastic weekend.